Hey, coach, so glad you found us on YouTube. Let me help you through this great journey. I have done it. I've won lots of championships, run one of the best programs in the country, coached NBA guys. I can help you become a better basketball coach. Teachhoops.com, I started for the sole purpose of coaches like you. Let me help you. One-on-one calls, office hours, videos with me, you name it, we got it. I am here to help. There's no other place you're going to get the coach's personal email address. I want to be your Yoda. I want to be your mentor. Let me help you through this great journey we call coaching. All right. Enjoy, coach.
Yeah, give me a.
Good. All right. Go ahead. Shoot away.
I gotta plug you through my other. I gotta put my headphones on.
That's all right.
How are you?
Good.
That's good. Oh. So we got our first junior high games tomorrow.
Okay.
One of our big concerns with the head coach and I, we've experienced this probably in the past a lot. Not too much, especially when I was the head coach a couple years ago, I experienced it a lot. My question was, how do you deal with parents who like try to coach from the stands or that like undermine you? I'm sure if you had
Yeah, that's a tough one, especially at the middle school level.
I know on your level, it's probably so deafening in like your gym and other gyms.
So, have you had a pre-meeting with them?
We had a meeting last week with our principal, who's our AD, and he
Okay.
like basically just talks the whole time.
Yep.
And he goes over, hey, this is what playing time's about. Every
Right.
kid's not gonna get it. And he just goes over like logistics basically.
Okay.
We haven't had a meeting with parents just
Yeah,
because.
so I might do this first game and then have a meeting with them. I think that's the best way that I have found.
Mhm,
You just got to cut it off right away
right.
and say, "Hey." And it's hard for me, trust me, when I watch my kids, but be a parent,
Yeah.
cheer all the kids on and just, and if there's something we need to talk about, we can do it.
Hmm.
You let the kids be kids is what I basically guilt them into doing the right
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
what happened? Well, the reason I bring this up, something happened. So I know the fifth and sixth grade girls basketball coach, and she had a situation where, um, a girl on her team, a father who used to be our boys' fifth and sixth grade coach, he's just a
right.
dad. He's just a regular dad.
Okay.
They were at a gym, and she went from playing man to man, and then they were getting crushed. Then they switched it up to a zone,
Right.
and he from the stands, it's not that many people. He instructed his daughter to go man,
Right.
and she didn't know what to do. And
Right.
that same father also has a son on our team,
Yeah.
and I don't know what to do in that situation because he was a coach last year,
Right.
and I don't know how to approach him
Yeah.
if
So
he
that's why
starts doing
I
this
think the
stuff.
easiest, that's why I think the easiest way is to do it as a mass group. You're not like
Okay, singling
individually
out
doing
guys,
him,
right?
even before the game starts. You can just gather all the parents together and go, "Hey, I know we're all really excited, blah, blah, blah. We're all
Yeah.
doing it, but let's let the kids be kids and let's let them hear only one voice. It's just
Hmm.
easier. And then if you want to talk afterwards, we can do that. I mean,
Yeah.
that's
I
what
think we
I've
have
done.
a. I think we have a. I think our AD. We have like a 24, 48 hour rule or something
Right.
like that after a game or something
Yeah,
like that.
and that's good. I usually have a 48-hour one, but yeah, I think the kicker is you got to
Mhm.
cut it off. And you don't want to individually maybe talk to that one parent, but if you talk to
Right.
all of them,
Right.
guilt
Well,
is a good motivator, to be honest with
yeah.
you.
Well, I had contracts made out for the kids, it has our
Mhm.
standards or whatever.
Yep.
And then at the last page, it says, before the kids and the parent side, it says, as a parent, I will abide by these standards as well. And I put in all caps purposely, I will not coach from the stands. I will
Right.
cheer. And I'm hoping that.
Well, no, but that's where in the meeting, I think you just
Mhm.
reiterate it because people
Reiterate.
sign
Okay.
stuff all the time. It's like,
Right.
hey, remember, everyone here signed this. It's not that I
Hmm.
don't think you know basketball because maybe there's people here that even know more than me. It's
Hmm.
not fair to the kids. You're not walking into a teacher's classroom and saying you should be teaching it that way.
Hmm.
Don't do that here. If
Hmm.
we have to have a conversation, we
Hmm.
can. It's no different. I mean, yeah.
Have you
So
ever had to talk to one of your kids during a timeout or during halftime and be like, hey, I know there's a lot of
at the younger ages, I've had to,
okay,
and even at the freshman, and I said, hey, I know you're just being torn. Just just do this, and I'll deal with it later.
okay,
So I take it off the kid. I don't want them to. You don't want to pit the kid versus the parent versus you.
right. Yeah,
But
because I was wondering what kind of wording it should be like like in halftime or something like that. Like, hey, I know it's your dad, I know it's your mom, but
right. And that can be a one-on-one arm, arm around the kid saying, hey, I know, blah blah blah, but
right,
we're trying to do this. We're going to do this now, and then we can talk about it after the game with your dad or mom or
right,
whatever.
okay,
I've done that before too. You just don't want to put the kid in the middle.
right, okay,
um, so you want to be an advocate for doing what's right. It's like, in my younger days, that would have ticked me off more. It doesn't really tick me off anymore
yeah.
because,
I'm sure that's what I noticed when I was like, I know I haven't been coaching. I know it may not look
yeah,
like I've been coaching a
yeah,
long time, but I have that. I've had parents call me, while I was at work and ask, why did Johnny not start this
right. And
game?
it's like, yeah. The easiest thing someone ever told me is you can't be rational with an irrational person. They love their kids. We all love
Mm-hmm.
our kids, so we're
Mm-hmm.
not
Absolutely.
rational. It's the reason
Right.
you buy them too many presents at Christmas.
Right.
The reason Amazon's in existence, because we're not rational when we do it. So I get that. So that's why, if you got to vent, you got to vent. You can vent to
Right.
me. It's a safe spot. I'm okay with that. Yeah.
Right. My second question is, when is it a good time to, if you're getting absolutely crushed, if you're playing a man-to-man 2-3 zone or whatever you're playing on the defensive end, when is it a good time, to switch it up? Is it, I mean, do you like,
for me, it's usually 3 possessions.
okay.
If I don't feel like we're getting something in 3, but it might be a little bit more at your level.
Mm-hmm.
You might have to play with that exact number.
Mm-hmm.
If we come down 3 straight times and don't get something, or don't stop somebody 3 seems to be my magic number, but
Mm-hmm.
you'd have to play with that. Yeah. And you can kind of gut feel it, but it's good if you can
Right.
kind of keep track of it,
Yeah, well, we just installed Shell and everything, and the helpline, and like I know last time we talked, you said it was going to get ugly anyway.
Yeah.
I don't expect anybody to be like yelling help, help, help,
You know
or
what?
running to
Another
the
thing with that
helpline.
parent that's upset is good thing might be to have them videotape for you. That tends to keep them quieter if they're
Oh yeah.
doing
Well,
something.
I do have an apparatus that like I can stick my iPad on, and then
Okay,
I
so
can
that
have
works.
somebody go back and forth. It's just like yeah. So I
You
have
can
that.
always mute. You can always mute the sound, and it's always good. It's always better when someone's busy. It's like I used to keep the scorebook when my kids were playing,
Oh, okay, yeah.
because then I was focusing on that and I couldn't say anything.
Yeah.
Like it was
That's
away from.
actually that's actually a good idea because the head coach and we never want to keep last year I was supposed to keep the scorebook because I was just being nice.
Right.
And
Hey,
I found
coach, so
myself
glad you
doing
found us
that
on
in the
YouTube.
game anyway.
Let me help you through this great journey. I have done it. I've won lots of championships, run one of the best programs in the country, coach NBA guys. I can help you become a better basketball coach. Teachhoops.com, I started it for the sole purpose of coaches like you. Let me help you. One-on-one calls, office hours, videos with me, you name it, we got it. I am here to help. There's no other place you're going to get the coach's personal email address. I want to be your Yoda. I want to be your mentor. Let me help you through this great journey we call coaching. All right, enjoy, coach.
So you think so? If tomorrow, if we're getting crushed, like if we go 3 straight possessions, layup, go to a zone or something,
Yeah,
or
dude.
switch it up.
And then if you stop, or then you can always go back to it. But
Right.
change up a little bit.
Okay. So,
And even if maybe they don't score a couple times in the zone, then go back to the man. It's like you got to test the waters a little bit.
right. Yeah. Yeah. We're playing in a small gym tomorrow.
Right.
So we'll try to do that. My other one is how do you so for the last couple days of practice, we have a lot of things consistent. When do you start, like changing things up, spicing things up a little bit?
How long have you been going? How long?
Since October 22nd, but we haven't had every kid there because of
And
like
you haven't had a
football.
game yet.
No, we haven't had a game
Okay.
yet.
I would reevaluate after every time you take a test or you play a game. is when I'd reevaluate. Like, okay, we need to start working on this.
Sort of litmus
And
test,
the spice is going to happen on its own because you're going to go, oh crud, we can't make a layup. All right, we need layup drills. Da, da, da.
Right.
Or we shot 12% from the free throw line. We got to figure out how we can shoot better. So I think that will take care of itself as long as you're. I mean, and you will, as long as you're kind of self-evaluating during the games, because the games are your tests.
Right.
So you basically want to use those tests to figure out what you need to do for the next one.
Right. So my next one is we have a couple of kids. They're like deer in the headlights at practice, and you know, I've explained to the kids all the time, like, hey, it's okay, it's cool to make mistakes. If you don't know a drill, hang back. You know, watch an older kid do it, or more, you know, kid that's attuned to what they're doing. And then, you know, this kid will hop in, and then he's still deer in the headlights. And, you know, we've had to, you know, well, like, for example, I was showing one part of the offense that, you know, just a small, like, hey, this is how you got dribble handoff right here.
Right. You
know, and then the next group comes in with said kid with deer in the headlights, and he just absolutely just makes up his own thing. So what can you do with kids like what do you do with the kid like
that? That's hard. So you got to basically put them in a situation where they can be successful. So maybe, you know, I might not throw them into something like that, which is harder, but maybe you're having them throw the ball in on out of bounds plays, or maybe you're having them you got to figure a way that you can use, you know, the misfit toy basically.
Because like
I've had teams like the islands of the misfit toys. Now that the holidays are coming up, trust me, I've had them. It's like, oh my gosh.
Because like I pulled this kid aside, I'm like, hey man, you know, it's all good. You know, I just want to know where your head's at right now. And he's like, well, it's just kind of confusing with all the moving parts.
So then what you do is you grab a kid that really gets it and have them sit next to it and explain it to them while you're doing something else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have some of the kids that are playing varsity at the high school that I've coached at when they were in middle school with me.
Right.
And they're gonna play varsity. I've had them like, you know, stick around and practice, like come to our practice, talk to our kids.
Okay.
And do that and do.
And that's helpful. Okay.
Yeah. We've had a week.
It's okay. I get it. I'm just starting to think. We start in 2 weeks, and I'm thinking, oh my God, I got to start thinking. I kind of know up here. I know what I want to do in my practice plan, but
it sounds like you know what you're gonna do in all your podcasts and everything.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, am I gonna?
I got it. Well, I got it all spread out. I like know what I'm going to be doing, but I don't know what I'm going to be doing. Does that make sense? Like, I know I got these 3 things, but then I got all the pieces. Now I got to put the pieces into a puzzle to kind of figure out how it's going to work in that time window that I get. So
I get that. It's just, I think in one of your podcasts you said that you like go week by week now instead of planning. You do that with your staff.
Yeah, on Sundays and stuff. That's so much easier.
Yeah.
Because I used to have like for 2 or 3 weeks. It's like, nope, I need like the first 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, because I was like, oh man, how am I supposed to plan out? Because this is probably one of the first times in my short career where I've been like actually organized with everything. Because I used to just be right off the cuff, like, oh, I'll just make this at work, you know, whatever. You know, and we're all post practice, you know, on Facebook, you know.
Right. Yeah. And the thing is what you want to do too is then keep them. Cause I mean, I got a big pile you can't see over to the left of old practice plans from 2004 kind of thing.
Yeah.
So looking through and it's like, oh, we did that worked. And ooh, that works.
Yeah. I made a like, I always make a binder every year, but like what I always do is I always have the practice plan. I'm folding it up, I'm crumpling it or something, but I've made it a habit to where I'm hole punching it, then I'm sticking it right back in my binder, even though it's like kind of mangled,
right?
And
I'm still old school. I like writing it out because I cross things out. I don't like the electronic practice plan. I like physically to write it out because then I'm like, ooh, I don't like that. I cross it off. I do something else. I'm sure I could do it on the computer, but
have you I know a lot of programs they've like the ones I've experienced, there's not a lot of creativity when like giving the kids a lot of creative like influences or anything like that, like in the offense or something like that.
Right.
What have you found that's successful that's like helps
give them a lot more freedom on the offensive end than the defensive end? And not necessarily shots, but freedom to do things.
Right.
So I think that's where you can give them more freedoms, you know, because it's definitely harder to scout and things like that. I don't give them freedom on the defensive end.
Right. I've done 5-out read and react, pass cut, dribble ads, curl cuts and things like that. And I found that because I don't know whether it's like just on the middle school level or it happens on the high school level or just happens with a certain type of players that you have. I'm trying to give them the most freedom as I possibly can, but
Right.
I think it's like sometimes I think it's just too much for them. Like I'm giving them too
Yeah.
much.
So you can always pull it back.
Right.
It's like, yeah. So I think you got to play some. The thing is, we're talking all this stuff, and in my back of my head, I'm going, we haven't even played a game yet.
Yeah.
The conversation we would have in 48 hours would be totally different.
Right. Yeah.
Because you got to go see, like, well, we can't do this or this kid can't. So I think that's what I think. Yeah, when we talk in a week or two, I think that will be the difference. Is your list will be 3 times as long because you go.
Yeah, I feel like
Johnny can't do this, and we can't do this, but we do this well, and we can't do this.
Yeah.
So we're talking about stuff that I don't think we got to wait and see till after you play.
Yeah, yeah, we have 2. I think we have a game. We have a game tomorrow, and
Okay.
there's a game on the 7th, but I can't be there because I have night class that I have to go to.
Okay.
And so the head coach is going to be left.
Well, I got to go, but I'm doing
Okay.
office hours next Sunday. So jump
cool.
on office hours and just let me know what happens.
Okay.
Okay.
Excellent.
Perfect.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Bye. Hey, Coach. Hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you go over and check out teachhoops.com up above and down below. Let me help you win championships just like me. Lots of rings. Teachhoops.com is a community. It's mentoring for me, one-on-one calls, office hours, you name it. We'll help you, and lots of resources. So make sure you go over and check it out. Let me know how we can help you become a better basketball coach.